Both players getting set up. Announcements happening. Remember, lunch breaks after this round, so the break is going to be a little more extended. I'm going to get myself some food. I haven't eaten yet. It's going to be great. And hopefully we'll have a fantastic game this round. No, guys, I am not playing. Kyle is 1-0. Pram is 1-0. I am technically 0-1. I was not dropped from the tournament. I forgot to unregister myself because I registered yesterday just in case I decided to play, and then I forgot to unregister. So round 1 I lost, but I'm glad to be here commentating, and it's what I wanted to do. I prefer to be doing this with you guys and playing the game itself. Get to watch some pretty cool games, and hopefully it's going to be awesome. Good catch. It is indeed round 2. All right, let's take a look at the decks these two are playing. I think I saw Eel from Bryan. We're seeing a regular Tornadus from Kyle. Whoa ho ho. Hopefully this will be super interesting. All right, we're ready to go. Looks like Bryan's going first. The round's about to start. And the round starts. Yeah, we have a regular Tornadus versus a Victini EX. A very interesting choice from Kyle playing a regular Tornadus. Probably some sort of Tornadus, maybe a Landorus deck. I don't see any energy cards, so no clues there. But let's see, Bryan gets his first Cirque, and it's one of the same decks we saw last round, the Victini Eels deck. It didn't work out so great last round, but maybe Bryan will have better luck here. Checking to see what's prized. Discarding an eel is something I never like to do, but it's always understandable when it has to happen. Bryan will get a Dynamo. Once you get those Dynamos going, get some energy in the discard, hopefully. He has that Super Rod, which is nice. Get that eel back in the deck. Maybe a little early to use it, but he doesn't have to force himself to put regular energies back in the deck, so that's nice. Maybe he has 2, so then it would be smart in this situation. Still can't wait to see what kind of goodies Kyle has in his deck. Pretty strong start so far from Bryan. Turn 1, Victini is a fantastic attack. You just get those extra energy in play. And that Rayquaza is pretty much ready to go. Yep, and he's going to attack with Victini, getting a couple more energy on the field. It's going to be a fire and a lightning on the Rayquaza. And Rayquaza's looking for a tasty Tornadus snack you can chew on next turn. Such a strong start by Bryan. Kyle's going to have to make the best of it. Let's go like energy search here. I'm not really sure what that was. Maybe he failed the search? Interesting. And Kyle's going to go ahead and didn't play a double colorless. Guess he figures this Tornadus is not going to be much use to him against Bryan's Rayquaza Eel deck. You know, if Kyle doesn't get another Pokemon here, he is in big trouble. Because all Bryan would need is an energy card, and say la vie to this game. Okay, he is an Ultra Ball. He's still alive. And a computer search. Could do some stuff with this. That's for sure. We're going to see an Ultra Ball, and we're going to see what Pokemon Kyle wants to utilize here against this Eel deck. Yep, and Landers is still always a good choice. Get a bunch of damage on everything, hit it with lasers, finish him off with like another Tornadus or a Mewtwo. Knock out Tynamos. Landers is a good choice here. And Bryan will be very hard pressed to knock out that Landers this turn. Next turn, excuse me. Bryan gets another Tynamo in play. He's going to get an energy and a level ball. I don't think he has a lightning in the discard yet. So, unfortunately, he won't be in too great of a shape to knock out that Landorus. He's going to get a third Tynamo out. Bryan is in very good shape versus Kyle. Third energy on Rayquaza. He's ready to go. Going to switch him in and take out that Tornadus this turn. Kyle shows him his hand. Kyle still doesn't have energy on the field, so that's not good. But it's never good to be behind versus a Rayquaza Eel deck. Do so much damage so quickly every single turn. It's hard to stop him. And that is a pretty decent hand for Kyle. He's got a fighting, a laser, some supporters. His Tornadus might go down, but he'll be in pretty good shape here. Yep, and there goes the Lightnings, knocking out that Tornadus. As you can see, turn 1 Victini's attack is just great. As long as Kyle doesn't play any more basics other than EXs, It's essentially going to be a wasted attack for Bryan. He gets the extra card out of his prizes, but he also reduces the amount of cards he gets with N. I suppose it's better than doing nothing. He gets the energy in the discard, which is great, because right now he had none, now he has two, so one prize is always good here. But Kyle can avoid that being a very big attack as long as he doesn't play non-EXs. He's going to do a lot of damage to this eel, and if he gets a Burbank to play, he's going to knock it out. That would be huge. See an N, Bryan's going to get 5. Kyle's going to get 6. He's looking for a Burbank. Maybe another basic, just in case. Just in case Bryan goes crazy with his cards. Three, 4, 5, 6. Shucks, no Burbanks. But still in a good position. Get some damage on that eel. Don't know if I see a switch by Bryan in hand yet, but he could get one. Set up that eel for a knockout with the hammerhead later. He's going to Ultra Ball here. It's smart, just in case Bryan goes crazy with his cards and is able to knock out that Landorus next turn. Get another Landorus. Always good versus an eel deck. Hammerhead, 30 to a Dynamo, 60 to the active eel. Both of those are now in Hammerhead knockout range, and Kyle's in much better shape than he was last turn. You got to think, if Bryan has a big turn here, it's got to be his game to lose. Especially if he draws a switch and is able to get that eel out of the active, that would be awesome. Going to get that second eel in play. Thinking about Ultra Balling here for the third eel. Yep, and he does. Now, if Bryan's able to get that switch, knock out a Landorus this turn, he'll be so far ahead. He'll have 3 eels in play, Rayquaza and Victini ready to go. He's going to get another Dynamo. That works too. Those Landoruses are certainly going to make quick work of the Dynamos and Eels Bryan already has on the field. So more and more is the way to go. Bryan's going to Bianca here for 5. He's really looking for a switch, get that eel out of the active. He gets a Tool Scrapper, Catcher, Fire, no switch. So that's going to be great for Kyle. He's going to be able to catch up a new Pokemon, probably the eel that already has 30 on it, knock out both eels next turn, and Bryan's just going to have to let it happen. Bryan will be able to respond with his own Rayquaza, knocking out Landorus, but then it's up to an eelless field, and Bryan's going to have to get more eel in play. And now Kyle's going to know he doesn't have the switch. Oh, even if he did, wouldn't have the energy for it either. Didn't draw lightning. It's pretty huge too. And we see a pass from Bryan. It's great for Kyle. That's just what he needed. So if Bryan has a catcher, he's going to be able to knock out both eels this turn. Does have a Juniper. Unfortunately, he has 2 more lasers in his hand, and that's just not going to be useful. Yep, got to get rid of those lasers. That's 3 now gone. Oh man, did he not draw a catcher? Shucks. Both players didn't draw the cards they needed to do the best plays that they could. It's very unfortunate for Kyle here. Oh, he does have the catcher. There it is. Oh, Kyle's going to be in great shape after this turn. Another strategy Kyle could do is he could catcher up a Tynamo and knock out the eel, but this play is much better. Could also get damage on Rayquaza. Also not going to be as good as just getting those eels off the field. Sure, Bryan's going to be able to respond next turn, knocking out his Landorus, but Kyle's in a fantastic position here. With Bryan only having taken 1 prize on that first knockout instead of 2, it's going to be hard for Bryan to knock out 3 more EXs, especially if he doesn't get more eels in play. He's already used that 1 Super Rod. Hopefully he plays another. Oh no, no eel. An Ultra Ball though. And a Dowsing Machine. You get a Dowsing Machine for... Oh, no lightning either. Holy cow. Wow, that is crazy. He can't even knock out the Landorus this turn. That's very unfortunate for Bryan. Fortunately though, he's not that hard pressed to knock it out. That 15 is going to provide some pretty good energy acceleration. Landorus is going to do 30 with Hammerhead to 2 things. Kyle has already gotten 3 of his Hypnotoxic lasers in the discard, so he only has 1. And if he gets a Verbank though, that would be a lot better next turn. He'll be able to do 90 to one of Bryan's EXs, probably Victini, setting up for Hammerhead range later. Kyle's got a wealth of cards in his hand. You know, and we're probably going to see a Dowsing Machine for a Super Rod here. He doesn't have a Lightning in the discard though, so even if he got that eel, he wouldn't be able to attack with that Rayquaza this turn. Now, he hasn't gone straight for that second eel yet, which is interesting. He might have two more in the deck. It would be very different if he only played two eels. He's going to get another Dynamo out. That is very interesting. No, he's going to think about this. It all depends. How many eels does he play? How many are in the deck? And he's decided 2 Dynamos, 1 eel. You know, the only thing I dislike about that is that if Kyle keeps knocking out those Dynamos, the game is not going to last long, and those Dynamos aren't going to be that useful. But Bryan probably does play 4 eels. There's probably plenty of eels in the deck itself. Might have some prized. We're probably going to see an attack here by Victini EX. It's not the best thing in the world, but maybe a Rayquaza being presented active and then just passing would be good. If he plays Max Potion, that'll buy him a turn. Yep, and Victini's going to attack here, powering up those Rayquazas. Got that eel out. That's going to be good. As soon as he attacks with that Rayquaza, there's going to be plenty of lightnings in the discard. And Kyle has escaped another big turn from Rayquaza. But he's going to be hard pressed here to make something happen to prevent Bryan from knocking out his Landorus. He is ahead on prizes, and after this turn, he'll have more damage on the field. So he needs to get further ahead. That's the thing about Rayquaza. It's definitely susceptible to making comebacks. Now, what is Kyle going to choose to do here? Unfortunately, that Max Potion is not going to be useful. We're going to see a Skyla from Kyle. Thinking about getting a Verbank, a catcher, computer search, and he's going to get a Verbank. Now he has 3 in the discard, and he has his 4th laser in his hand. It's pretty unfortunate that he has to use all those. He had to discard both of those lasers with that Juniper without ever getting to use them. But getting Victini up to 60 damage is certainly nothing to scoff at. Also takes away Victini's free retreat. It's going to play down the Bouffalant, giving 2 Bouffalants, giving Bryan the chance to even up his prize count. And that's fine. Things have to be done. Bouffalant is a great card for knocking out Victini. It would knock it out in 1 attack. Looks like that route is not going to be taken, though. Kyle's going to put Victini to sleep and poison it. It's going to take 60 damage overall, and 30 is going to go to Bryan's bench. And Bryan's going to put it on the eel. That's smart. And Victini does not wake up, so Bryan is going to need a switch here, and he doesn't have one right away. Bryan's going to end, he's going to get 5 cards. Looking for that switch. If he is unable to switch out here, that would be 3 turns in a row. Bryan has been just stalled from a big Rayquaza attack. Oh no, Bryan did not get that switch. Wow. Another turn, Bryan is stuck without a Rayquaza attack. He's going to get another eel in the field. That's good, but these whiffs are adding up. Man. Stuff has not gone right for Bryan. After this turn, that Victini is going to get knocked out. That eel can go up to 6 damage. And with a catcher, Kyle can knock out that Dynamo and the eel and win the game. Kyle still pondering whether or not to use that catcher to knock out more Pokemon. That Landorus on the bench getting powered up. And that's going to be problematic for Bryan because Kyle's going to get 3 prizes here after he knocks out both the eel and the Victini. It's going to go down to 1 prize. A catcher would win the game for him. An energy card, if that second Landorus doesn't get knocked out, would win the game for him, knocking out that Rayquaza in 1 attack. Oh, no, that's not correct. This is 150. Excuse me. But 80 is nothing to scoff at. It's going to do a lot of damage. Unfortunately, Kyle is going to be out of Hypnotoxic Lasers after putting that Victini up there. Do see Energy Switch by Kyle. It's a good card. And we are going to see the 3 prize turn by Kyle. He's down to 1 prize. Bryan still has not been able to attack due to more and more unfortunate circumstances each turn. It has just not been good for Bryan. Bryan struck first, but Kyle struck second, third, and fourth, and fifth. Now, Bryan is able to get 2 prizes this turn, but He's not going to be able to follow that with an N, it looks like. He doesn't have one, which is huge because Kyle has a big hand. All Kyle needs is a catcher. If he evolves that second eel, Kyle will need an energy and a catcher. And it looks like Bryan's going to be able to evolve that eel. Bryan's deck is looking very small. All right, and there is Rayquaza finally getting some damage, finally getting 2 prizes. Bryan has been waiting for that for quite a few turns, and it might just be too late at this point. Here comes the Landorus. He's got an energy card. He, however, does not have a catcher yet. Let's have a switch. Can't remember how many catchers Kyle's played so far. Does have some energy switches. There probably won't be that good. Even so, if Kyle were to do 150 damage to that Rayquaza this turn, just about anything that can attack will be able to knock out that Rayquaza next turn, if Bryan doesn't play Max Potion. Kyle could also use Juniper and try to get a catcher out of the deck and win, depending on how many he has left. We're going to see that third energy on Landorus. Second Landorus on the field, so after Kyle does this 150, all he will need is a fighting energy to win the game if Bryan does not heal the Rayquaza. Three, 4, 5, 6, 7. Not a catcher. I did not see a catcher. The game is not over. He is going to do 150 damage to that Rayquaza. Now all he has to do is use Hammerhead and knock out the Rayquaza and win the game. Bryan needs to end or heal one of his Pokemon. If he can't do that, that's going to be it. Bryan's going to retreat. He is going to take another 2 prizes here. Get that another Rayquaza ready, but all Bryan has to do is Hammerhead and win. And yep, that's going to be it. Hammerhead, knock out the Rayquaza, and Kyle wins. Wow, what a game. Bryan's just a few turns too late.